Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about an interesting topic. It is quietly related to motivation and action. Just do it is a slogan of Nike. It was adopted by Nike. Nike's founder, Phil Knight, was a very inspiring person. I read recently the book Shoot Up by Phil Knight. It's his autobiography. In his book, he have described his struggle, his journey, and how he took the actions to build a company that is now at the peak of shoe industry or other sports accessories. So, without further ado, let's discuss about it and hope you would like it. Let's do it now. Well, tell me, how many times you have thought about doing something extraordinary? How many times you have decided to do something good, extraordinary, but we fell in the trap of getting the motivation at the time. Motivation. That's why we weren't able to do it because we didn't got the motivation at the right time. Like doing something great, like reading a book or cycling, I guess, or just doing something that's very tough for you, or the thing that you are doing for the first time. The first time is the greatest because you have to overcome the friction, and to overcome that friction we hope to get motivation. But when we don't get the motivation, we just don't do it, and that causes us to fall in the trap that we weren't able to do it. We think that we are lazy, we are unmotivated, we can't do anything because we don't have motivation to it. But motivation isn't the factor that you are missing. Uh, the factor you are missing is just taking action. You fell in the trap of waiting for the motivation that you forget that you also have to take more action before you get motivation. That so called motivation does not hit you at the exact time you want it. Motivation and action should go proportionally, because if you wait for motivation, the action will be delayed. If you took the action, the motivation will follow. They are uh, proportional to each other, and hence we should remember that we have to take a action before getting a motivation. Like Mark Manson wrote in his book The Subtle Art of Not Giving Fuck that action isn't just the effect of motivation, it is the cause of it too. Action isn't just effect of motivation, it is the cause of it too. That simply means that motivation naturally occurs through action. When you take action, the motivation follows. And when motivation follows, you get encouraged to do the stuff again and again. Mark Manson wrote in his book about it, The Subtle Art of Not Giving Fuck. We fell in the trap of getting motivation all the time before taking the action. But all around, we should remember that motivation isn't the just thing you need. You need to take action even though you are not favorable, even though you are not feeling to do it. Just taking the action, the motivation will follow it, and you will fall into the trap. Even Simon Sinek wrote in his book Start With Why that if your purpose behind the action is clear, if your purpose or your why, as he called, is clear, then you need not wait for the motivation. You would just start taking the action. If the purpose behind every action, a good action you are doing, is clear, then your action would come naturally. come naturally, and when action follows, there's always motivation with it. And when motivation follows, you'll fall into the trap of this habit action loop. Motivation, action, action, motivation, and so on. uh, every action in the beginning is painful, I know. Every action has its own friction. Like, reading a book might seem a stressful action because you have to go through a lot of knowledge, a lot of difficulties, but if you maintain your consistency of action, you'll feel motivated to do it. And when you feel motivated to do it, you'll follow into the action of doing it. Similarly with cycling, I have tried this habit recently and it turned out to be good. At the beginning I was very worried, where should I go, what happened if I did some mistake, if I fell behind, or what would happen if I weren't able to continue the habit. So what I did is just started action. I cycled for around 10 kilometers that day. It was a small milestone for me, and slowly by today I was doing 30 to 40 kilometers during weekends usually. But when I followed the action, it gave me motivation. And when motivation follows, there's always action behind. A motivation is just extraordinary thing that we rely on, but we should not just sit and wait for the motivation to come and pick us up. We just have to take the action, even if it has a lot of friction. A friction, we have to overcome the friction by applying more force in the beginning, but when the thing starts rolling, it keeps rolling, and you just have to sit back and enjoy. Every habit should start like this, smart, small, but at the beginning give it a little force, a little extra force, and motivation will follow. Motivation follows through the action itself. So you should learn more from your mistakes and failures. When this is the static friction time, you would do a lot of mistakes. You will do some silly mistakes. You would feel like not showing up. You'll not feel motivated to do the actions. But this is the period where you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to just learn the habit of showing up, even though it's miserable, I know. You have to learn the habit of showing up and start small. Small actions, big results. So this is it.